Hello, I'm Mick Morrissey, Managing Principal of Morrissey Goodale, with the video edition of Engineering Inc.'s M&A Takeway. Our focus in this edition is integration, the holy grail of mergers and acquisitions. Buyers want to integrate acquisitions to realize the return on their investment. Sellers, on the other hand, view integration as a way to validate their decision to sell. Also, since many deals involve performance-based earnouts, sellers can have a big financial incentive to make integration as smooth as possible. So integration is clearly a priority for both buyers and sellers. But when you talk with managers 1, 2, or 3 years after a deal, many throw up their hands and speak to the integration process as being painfully poor or a complete failure. Why is this? Well, there are 4 major reasons. Reason number 1, not a core competency. Over half of the engineering deals that take place annually involve a first-time buyer or novice buyer with revenues of $100 million or less. These firms typically don't have the managers who have experience in doing deals. For many, this is their first rodeo. Also, they generally lack the functional skills required to merge business systems in the short term and fully engage the acquired firm's employees over the longer haul. Many deals are doomed from the get-go due to this lack of experience and skills. Kind of like putting a junior project manager on your most important project. Should be a big red flag. What's the solution? Make sure you have a manager experienced in acquisitions leading your integration team. Reason number 2, I like to call not my job. Unlike the larger firms in the industry, who typically can afford to have managers dedicated to merger and acquisition integration, smaller acquirers tend to rely on their most successful business unit managers. These folks are already maxed out typically with multiple important day jobs. While these managers understand the importance of integration, they lack the bandwidth required to really make it a priority. Think about it. What successful manager at your firm has a boatload of discretionary time to take on another critical assignment? With this dynamic, integration tends to not get the focus it requires. What's the solution? Dedicate a key manager to the integration. Make him or her the champion. Strip them of all other responsibilities and tie their compensation to the success of the integration. Watch your integration results dramatically improve by doing that. Reason number 3, the emotional intelligence barrier. Doing a deal is like hiring a bunch of people overnight, except that these new people are generally concerned and anxious about what's next and what they've gotten into. They need clear communication, direction, and assurances. But too often, acquiring firm integration teams lack the people skills to deliver on these needs and instead focus on the hard targets of systems integration. To make matters worse, the acquirer's human resources function is oftentimes deployed just to manage risk and integrate benefits, rather than to fully engage the new staff. The longer this dynamic goes on, the greater the potential for key staff defections from the acquired firm. Solution? Make sure the integration team understands the critical nature of the people aspects of integration. Empower them to make time for meaningful group and one-on-one discussions. And then, based upon the feedback they hear, if it's valid, empower them to make decisions and take actions. The 4th and final reason all comes down to sellers' motivations. Many acquirers are blind to the fact that there's a good possibility that the majority owners of the seller may no longer be motivated to grow the business after the deal is done. Despite all of the posturing during negotiations prior to the deal, it's not unusual for sellers to check out of the business soon after the merger closes. This is a huge integration killer. Solution? Be direct and upfront about sellers' motivations and goals. Provide carrots and sticks in employment agreements to incentivize integration for the sellers. Look deep into the acquired firm to find next-generation, highly motivated managers to champion integration. That's it for this edition of the M&A Takeaway. For more in-depth commentary on the topic and our interactive M&A heat map, check out the print edition of Engineering Inc. From Boston, I'm Mick Morrissey.